Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
All right, folks, welcome to a brand new episode of the Frankly Francisco podcast. I am your host, Francisco. Today, I have two special guests. I've known this gentleman for ever and a day, maybe over 10 years now, a little bit longer than that. He is part of a up-and-coming group. He is also on his way to becoming a media mogul. He is part of the group called R Squared. I'd like to introduce everybody to Kizzy and his partner, Ravish Bob. How are you guys doing?
Excellent.
Doing well.
Now, gentlemen, starting with Kizzy, explain to me how you woke up one day and decided, hey, I'm just going to get into music and into media. What drove you to do that?
I think it's not really so much that I woke up one day and decided I wanted to get into music. Music has always been within me. I feel like I was just born to be a creative. And, there just came a point in time where we just realized, like, you know what, we need to go all in for this. We need to just say, forget about everything else, forget about excuses and nonsense, and let's go chase our dreams, man. And here we are.
Ravish Bob, what about you, man? How long have you been in the music scene here in Cleveland?
Well, we started some time ago, honestly. We started when we were, just teenagers. And Kizzy's actually the one that got me into doing music. We did our first project together, and we actually teamed up with a producer that really helped, get Kizzy inspired and start, doing this hip hop thing out when we lived in Europe. So we both lived in Hungary. And then he linked with Dole Beats, and then he came to me. He was like, bro, because we were both living out there. He was like, man, you should try it. Because I used to write all the time, I was big into like poetry and just creative writing, man. I just, that's just how I could express myself. I was kind of closed mouth. I didn't really talk much, so I felt like I could express myself with the pen. And that's kind of how our journey started. And, we moved away from music for a number of years. And then a couple years ago, we just saw the mic kind of calling to us, and we were like, man, let's actually give it a go. Let's actually put everything into it. Cause you also got to take care of yourself. You got to work, you got to, life happens. So, it's hard, in this current day and age, it's hard to be an artist. It's hard to make a way in hip hop, but, we just had such a love for it that we wanted to, put everything in. So that's all started.
So run that back to me though. You lived in Europe. So you made the trip from Europe back to Cleveland. How does that happen?
Well, so we went to the same high school, right, downtown. And, we got the opportunity to travel overseas. So we were like, okay, that ended up happening. And, we were friends already, but, got selected for the program, and that really solidified our brotherhood. We traveled, we were just, in high school. So it was a completely crazy experience for us. And, we lived over there for a year. What were you going to say, Kizzy?
No, I was just, go ahead.
Yeah, it was crazy. And lots of different adventures. And it was like a program through the school. And then that's when Kizzy met Dole Beats, who, really inspired and really got us going, because he was feeding us beats, and, he was super passionate about what he does. And maybe Kizzy can say a little bit more about that.
So Kizzy, you were out there as well, right?
Yeah, we were both foreign exchange students back in, 2005? Was it? 05? Yeah. 05, 06? And, we had to actually go to class. So we were juniors in high school, and we were actually in, Hungarian high schools, and we were in classrooms. We had to be there the whole day, just like we were a student there. And, when I first got there, my buddy Mike, shout out to Mihai. Me and him, we became instant best friends. He wrote me a note. He's like, hey man, welcome. we hit it off, man. We became best friends, and come to find out, like, he just loved hip hop. He loved Bone Thugs, and like we had a connection there because he always listened to Bone Thugs. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'm from Cleveland. Da 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 da. Anyways, we met. Through him, I was introduced to this extraordinary producer, man, who lives in just, who's like I could relate to so much because he was just like me in a musical sense. I had always been into writing, and I'd always been into art. I used to draw all the time, and I met somebody who was just like that in a musical fashion, and he introduced me to that, and he brought me on board and really inspired me to apply my writing and artistic style to a form of music, and and here we are.
So let me ask you gentlemen a question. So you were in Hungary for a year. Is there a music scene out there though? Is there, like, every country has a music scene, but does Hungary have a hip hop music scene as well? Did you guys get a chance to look at that?
Yeah, absolutely they do. Yeah, they have a love for hip hop, and they have a deep appreciation for it. And obviously it's different because a lot of times they may not even necessarily understand the music fully because they speak a different language, but you can tell they have a real appreciation, a real love for hip hop. And yeah, man, there's definitely a scene there. There's I'd say there's probably more fans than there are artists, but there's definitely a scene there.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
so with the projects you guys got coming out, you just came out with is it EP or LP that you guys just came out with?
An EP.
And you guys just came out with an EP.
Yeah.
I listened to a bunch of the songs on there. 3 particular songs I loved, and I let you know, Rob, what those songs were. I thought they were dope. You could feel the passion in your voice when you were on that record. What have you done so far to promote yourselves when it comes to the record? What shows have you done? Do you guys have any shows coming out? What are the plans for you guys moving forward with R Squared?
So we've got a lot of things that we're cooking. We obviously we made the introduction to the world that we're doing, that we're artists and we have music and we create music. So we obviously want to continue on that path, but we think that art is not just limited to music, but it's also, it can be anything from photography to videography to like digital art to physical art to painting to anything on canvas. So, our whole goal is just to drive a culture, man.
Mm-hmm.
So music is our spearhead, music is our passion, but it's about art and it's about artistry, and that's the main and building a culture. That's really the main thing that we want to do. So as far as like shows that we have coming up, I mean, we've been doing media coverage for events called the International Airport that takes place at a bar called Now That's Class. That's in Lakewood. So we've been doing media coverage for that. The next event is coming up on August 6th. And there's a bunch of, there's going to be some different artists there, such as Honesty Blade, who you've had on your show before, Jack Bees, just to name a few, Joel 7. So we'll be there in media coverage. And then on August 19th, we'll actually be performing. That'll be a show. We'll be in collaboration with a band called Dibs on Mars. We'll be working with a bunch of other different, very talented artists here in Cleveland. August 19th at the Winchester in Lakewood. So make sure you check us out there. We definitely look forward to seeing you guys and giving you guys a good show.
So, Robert Bly, let me ask you a question. What type of style is your type of style? Like, who were your inspirations growing up when it came to hip hop? I know everybody has their own unique style, but I know a lot of people, a lot of artists, they take bits and pieces from other artists and they mold it into something new. So, who was some of your inspiration growing up that makes you who you are today as an artist?
Well, really, I feel like the way it's hard to say because I didn't really look at other artists when I was crafting my style. I was kind of thrown into it by Kizzy, really, because I'd never, prior to him talking about music and wanting to do music, I never thought of doing it. I never, my brother and some of his homies, they would freestyle in the car. And I was just like, I was out of it. I was like, I'm not, don't pass it to me. I'm not hopping in the ring. But, I was a shy kid growing up, so it was hard to express myself like that. So But what I did listen to a lot of hip hop, man. I listened to a lot of Lupe. You know, I really connected with you know, what he would talk about. Obviously, Bone. You know, they're big all throughout Cleveland. So I think everybody has, you know, was influenced by them. And I really like, you know, the melodics and stuff that they did. Eminem, you know, Jay, you know, all the greats, you know, I'll just listen to, you know, I really enjoyed the lyricism, man. That for me, that was like, that's what really showed through. So, you know, I feel like I'm a lyricist myself, you know, but I couldn't really put my style saying that I lend this or I lended that. Cause I mean, if I do it naturally, then, you know, maybe you can pick up on something, but you know, it's hard for me to say, really.
Kizzy, same question to you. What is it that inspires you? Who were your favorite artists growing up? And is your style molded after other artists, or you came up with your own creative way of doing things when you're on the mic?
I definitely feel like you know, that I have my own voice, my own style, my own way of doing things. I think I like my inspiration is just it kind of draws from a lot of different places. I mean, it's all about vibes for me. It's all about what really resonates for me. And I, you know, you can never really tell where that'll come from. So, you know, my musical inspirations, man. I mean, it ranges from, you know, just like the artists that Robert Bob said, like the Eminems, the Royces, the Black Thoughts, the Jays, Nas, of course, Lupe Fiasco, you know, like guys like that. But you know, but also like, you know, guys like Outkast and Bone, of course, and then, you know, and then music in general. Like I value music in general. It doesn't necessarily have to be rap. But you know, I value all different types of sounds because everybody has their own individual voice and their own individual style, and I respect that about people. And I draw my own inspirations from various forms.
But what I love about what you guys are doing right now, you guys are not boxing yourself in. And the reason I say that is because it's more than just music. You guys are trying to create your own media empire. And that's how it should be. You know, some people just focus on being an artist and an artist alone. You guys are trying to find different avenues to get your, you know, your talent across, whether it be, you know, through sound, whether it be through, you know, videography. You guys are out there, which I really appreciate you guys because your vision is not boxed into one thing. You understand where I'm coming from? You guys have multiple outlets that guys are trying to succeed in. And I think this is something that a lot of these cats out here don't have that same kind of drive. So what got you to that to think, hey, it's just not hip hop. We can still be in the culture that we love, but we can you know, use the media side as well to promote it. So this is the question for both of you. So for you being artists, what drove you to do the media side as well?
Well, for me, I would say, you know, there's artistry in everything. You know, if you're an artist, you're an artist. You know, you can see that in whatever you do. And, you know, video and the visuals were just as important to us as making the music. So, you know, if we're already going to try to do it at the highest level, you know, let's control it ourselves, you know, and, you know, tied into that, we're so culture focused because it's not just about me as an individual artist or Kizzy as an individual artist. Is about the collective, man. It's about a collective sound here in Cleveland. You know, we really want to push that culture forward, and seeing that, we're thinking, okay, well, if we are to do this, this can complement a lot of other people's skills. You know, did I lose?
Yeah, we lost the video. Oh, there we go. All right, Kizzy, same question to you.
Pure facts what Robert Bob just said, man. You know, we're driven on the culture. We want to start a renaissance here in Cleveland, period. We want to start a renaissance here. And we don't look at it as why us, but why not us?
Right.
Why not us? So, you know, that's really like what adds fuel to the fire for us, man. We see what we could do. We see all the resources and the talent around us. There's so many beautiful artists around us, man. So much talent and so much a wealth of depth here in Cleveland that is untapped. and that is unrecognized and underrepresented. So, we want to be the spearhead, man. We want to be the ones who rewrite the narrative. We want to be the ones who set the tone and actually, and do something really special here in Cleveland.
So as you guys, I don't know if Robish Bob knows, I actually lived in Cleveland for 20 plus years, so I'm very familiar with the music scene. Cleveland has always had a music scene that's been underrated. A lot of artists have come that way to build themselves up. Up and coming artists have come through there. You have mainstream artists that still love coming to Cleveland, House of Blues, places like that to come in and perform because Cleveland just has a great music scene. It always has. And it's just not hip hop. You talk about rock and roll, you're talking about grunge, blues, everything you can think of. Cleveland, Ohio has been part of that scene. That's why the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is in Cleveland, because of that. And I think you're correct. I don't think Cleveland gets a lot of respect for the artistry that it has within that city. And it is vastly underrated and it's vastly underrepresented, like you said. So my thing, how many people are in your team? Who handles the sound? Who handles the camera? How do you guys, what's the word? How do you manage it to who's running what? Because remember, something like this, you have to have things in order. It has to be, one person has to be handling one thing, but it has to be all simultaneously when you're recording. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So everything's run pretty much in-house, and we have several people we work with, but the core team is myself, Robish Bob, Kizzy, and Kyle, who he's not here today. We would have liked to have him with us because he's really a part of this thing. And he's the main one behind the visuals that you guys see, and he's nice with the camera. He does a lot of the video and the editing, as well as photos. And as far as the sound side, our primary engineer is Wade Nichols of Star Sound Studios. We partnered with him. He's amazing. He's dope. And aside from that, it really depends on the venue, but we're a pretty dynamic team in what we bring to the table. And if we need extra personnel, we have a few cats we can reach out to.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what, it's amazing that you guys basically became a collective, of talent and decided to put something like this together. So the folks that don't know, Kizzy this guy is everywhere doing everything. This guy has his hands in different ventures, but I think music seems to be the biggest passion that he has right now. And I've known this cat for years and I never knew. I've known him for years and I never knew how talented he was on the mic. So it was very surprising to me when I actually heard the record and I was like, wow. I was like, this kid can spit. And I'm old school, man. I'm gonna be 42 this year, man. I'm a 90s kid, man. I listen to 90s hip hop. That's my inspiration. So when I hear music that I can relate to, that feels like that has that kind of vibe, you know what I mean? Like 90s vibe has that, has a message behind the music. That's the kind of stuff I can get with. A lot of the hip hop now, it's a bunch of gibberish to me. It's just a beat, and that's what people are just banging their head to, is just a beat. But if you were to put some actual lyrics behind that beat, man, I think some of these artists would take off more. I just think the culture right now is being dumbed down with the music that's out there right now. So when I see guys like you and I see guys like Honesty Blade come out and start putting the message behind that music again, man, it gets me excited again. And I think Cleveland needs to get put back on the map for that.
Totally agree. And that's hey, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. We just want to be ourselves. We just want to create our art. We just want to build culture. We don't think it's not difficult, man. It's not overly complicated. It's a very simple concept. You know what I mean? So that's it. That's it. We're going to continue doing what we do. We have a brick by brick mentality. So we're going to just continue building, putting pieces in place, building our team out, building our community, building our culture, giving back. And, blessings will come. Blessings will come when you spread the blessings and when you spread the faith, man. So
Robert's Bob, let me ask you a question. So are you getting anything done on your own? Like, are you laying down tracks yourself before Kizzy comes in? Are you guys going to be doing more joint ventures together? Are you guys going to do solo stuff as well?
There's, yeah, man, we're almost one entity, man. Me and Kizzy, we don't, I mean, I do a lot of writing by myself. So does
Mhm.
he. We'll work on music and work on individual things, but it's about the bigger vision for us. So, you know, the individual stuff will come maybe sometime, but I'm not even thinking about that. There's so
Mhm.
much, there's so many artists now in my mind that I've seen. I'm like, man, these guys are dope, but they may not have the eye for the other things, like the
Mhm.
eye for the visuals and or the infrastructure that they need to really promote themselves, right? So we're more focused on, I'd say, building the overall culture. We're always going to make music. That's what we love to do. We do that anyway. We freestyle anyway. We rock out anyway. But yeah, I'd say we're more so focused on that than anything. But you'll be hearing a lot more music from us soon. Yeah.
So Kizzy, let me ask you a question. Do you guys are collaborators, so you guys are always working on it. I think collaboration is the best way to get in life. You know what I mean? There's no shame in opening doors for other people as well. Now, you guys write your own individual music. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you guys ever compare and take bits and pieces from what he wrote and bits and pieces from what you wrote and create an entirely new song off of that because it just went together well?
Absolutely. We've done that, many times, man. Collaboration is key. Like I'm an artist, he's an artist. We have other artists that we work with. Everybody has their own individual shade that they paint with. I don't have that shade that Rubbish Bob has. Rubbish Bob doesn't have that shade that Honesty Blade has.
Mhm.
But it's the matter of when those things come together. What kind of a picture can you paint from that? And that's the beauty. That's what music's all about, as far as I'm concerned. That's what that's the beautiful thing about it. So yeah, absolutely, man. We've I've we talk, I mean, we joke about it all the time. About sometimes we'll write verses, I'll listen to his, and I'll be like, you know what, my shit's not good enough, and I'll throw it away,
Yeah.
and vice versa.
Yep.
And we have that iron sharpens iron mentality. So we just strive to be better every single day, and we just strive to make good music, and we leave it at that and let the results take care of themselves.
So how do you both feel about selling songs to others? There's a big thing out there where you're not everybody claims you're not a real artist if you're not writing your own lyrics. Well, to me I mean that's kind of rubbish to me because you have R&B artists that write music for other R&B artists. You know what I mean? Beyonce don't write all her music. Music Soul Child writes most of her music. You know what I mean? You have
Yeah.
artists that writes for other artists. So why is it in the hip hop game they consider you not real and they consider you fake if you're not writing your own music?
Mm. That's a good question. I mean, you have the lyrical purist. I think that the separation comes when, if you say that you know your lyrics are you, and that's you on the track and that's me, and no, I'm nicer, and you have that hip hop mentality, then I get it. You can't have a ghostwriter if you're calling yourself an MC. You're not going to have somebody else writing for you. But I'm definitely not opposed if somebody, if an artist comes to me and they're saying, hey man, I would like, something written for me, or I want to hear some reference songs, because we got a bunch of demos, right? I'm trying to get some from my album. We're definitely not against that. But I think that there should be a separation for it. But I don't know. I myself, I don't necessarily frown on it. I mean, I wouldn't have somebody write for me, because I feel like only I can get across my message with my voice and
Mhm.
and style. I don't think I could do it, but I wouldn't be opposed to trying it for someone else if they were up to it. I'm always game for doing something creative. So
How about you, Rob? How you feel about Kizzy? How you feel about that?
I feel the same. I also like, it depends, man. It also depends. If you're an MC, then man, no, you cannot have a ghostwriter, because then you're not really an MC at that point. But if you're, a musician and you're just making a song, or you're making art, I don't see anything wrong with that at all, man. Our voices are instruments. The words we say are notes. If I give the notes to somebody else, it doesn't necessarily degrade them, does it? That doesn't devalue them, does it?
No, not at all.
I think it does. So,
You need to
you
trademark
know.
what you just said there, though. Trademark it. Seriously, trademark that, man. That's a good saying. That's a very good saying. I would trademark that.
That's off the top, man. That's off the top. It's not scripted. I just go with it, man. But yeah, honestly.
But this is why I like having these conversations with people like you, because you guys speak your truth, and that's how it should be. It's a passion, and a lot of people, they fake passion. You guys don't fake passion. You can hear it, you can see it, and you guys are trying to help other artists as well by getting them seen and getting them heard and getting their their videos and their sound quality well. Man, I can't say that about a lot of people, man. They're not willing, because you guys are artists yourself. So, you trying to get a name for yourself, but you're also trying to bring other people up. That's a rare trait, man, in hip hop, man. I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you, because you have other artists that take advantage of other artists, and you guys are not doing that. So, explain to me how that came to be. Like, how did you decide, man, we're gonna help lift other artists up? Is it because it's Cleveland, because it's the passion of being in Cleveland and the hip hop scene there, or is it just because if you do good, good to come back to you? Either one.
Yeah, we have a slogan. We say, be good, do good. And being who we are and knowing who we are and knowing we have the skill set we have, we do everyone a disservice if we're just like, nah, we just gonna focus on us. We gonna get our money. And that's just not true to who we are. We're family first, and the city that raised us, this is our family. These are our people. We wouldn't be who we are without them. So I want those voices to be heard, and we want to move that collective forward. We want to push that culture, because we can show others what we can do as a force, and we're much stronger together than we are apart, just going at each other's necks or trying to climb up on, somebody's back and get ahead of them. That's not what we're all, we have integrity in this. So yeah, I could never see myself just focused on, me, myself, and I just, it's not it for me.
How about you, Kizzy?
I mirror that, man. It's not about, we realize it's not just about us. It's not about me. It's not about Ravish. We're always bigger picture for focus, man. So, collaboration is key, man. It really is. It really is. And we want to be able to highlight other artists, because they're talented and they deserve to be highlighted. People in Cleveland, the underrated music scene that we have here, like, it's time to start getting those people the recognition that they deserve, man, because I've seen a lot of talented artists, man. I've been around a lot of talented artists, and it's only a matter of time before they get their moment too. So
with this collective you guys have, I don't understand it's the media side as well. Are you eventually trying to get your own studio set up in R Squared as a studio for other artists to come in and be able to record? Because if you're already doing sound and you're doing video, I think the next logical step would be creating your own studio space.
Yeah, we actually have a studio space. It's out in North Royalton. It's called Star Sound Studios, and we're partnered. The guy I mentioned earlier, Wade Nichols, and that's another creative space that we go to, and we can definitely lock in there. But that's where all the all of our music was done, and so, we brought our other artists into there, and, if anyone out there needs a place to, go and record, I would definitely recommend that, especially if you want to work with Kizzy and I, and I don't know if Kizzy has anything to add to that.
No, it's a creative space, man. It's a place where we can go, where we create. We have all of everything that a creative and artist would need, man. We have access to. So that goes from green screen to a full band recording studio that can record a full band. We've got different studios for different package levels. Like it's really a gem that we have there, and we're always looking to have other artists come in there and to experience that and to have access to creative spaces where they can create and further their craft.
So next time I come into Cleveland, we're gonna have to head out there, man, so we can do another show out there live from the studio, man.
Oh, yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah. 100%.
See how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm just excited for you guys, man. It's always good to see, young cats get up and do the things they need to do, man. And, you know, you just got to keep striving to move forward, man. So, what do you guys have in the plans? What's coming up for you guys here in the future?
Oh man, big big things on the works, man. We're planning on, first of all, we're planning on doing things like we're planning on doing open houses at from Star Sound Studios, where we'll bring artists in. It will give them a chance to see the creative space. We'll do workshops where we talk about the creative process, where we're going to talk about, writing a song, preparing for a studio session, the ins and outs of recording, the final products, everything that goes into song making and really producing a high quality product. So, we're doing those things. We're doing media coverage. So we've got, our lenses are active. Our as much as our pens are active, our lens are active. So, we're doing things like covering events and recording artists and giving them content for them to use on their socials or however they please. Um, we're also going to have our hand in things where we had a Cleveland recording summit a couple weeks back where we brought in world class talent. We had Carl Ryan from the band Supertramp on there. We were front and center. We did the media coverage for that. We helped host the event. And then, of course, we're going to be making music, man. We're just not even the tip of the iceberg as far as the music goes. I'm very, very excited for what we have in the works and all of the songs that we have in the hopper with these various artists from all different forms and fashions of music. Super, super exciting stuff, man. Stay tuned. We're going to have lots of good stuff coming up.
So,
Promise you that.
run this back for me a minute. Did I hear correctly? You are actually teaching workshops now?
We are, we will start doing that within the next couple of months here. We're setting that up. We're going to do workshops. They're going to do, we have various ones planned. We have ones for hip hop. So, again, talks about like the writing process, the preparation process, what you need to know going into the studio, how to record, how to,
Wow.
things like that. Yeah.
I tell you what, I've never heard that before. I'm gonna be 100% with you. You guys are taking things to another level. That's amazing.
Renaissance.
Yeah, I mean,
Ren-
that's amazing. You're willing to teach others who are in the game, who are not, versed on anything when it comes to hip hop, and you're willing to teach them how to write music.
yeah.
You up having an open house for these artists. That is absolutely amazing, man. This is the type of mentality that's going to get you guys as far as you want to go. Like, I get excited for this stuff because, I sit in front of business folks all the time, every day. That's part of my job. And I get excited for other people to succeed. And I've been one of these type of people is, I want to see everybody. I come from a generation, I want to see everybody eat. You know what I mean? You can't bring everybody to that table with you though, because some people try to snatch that plate from you. But you know what I mean? This is exciting stuff, man. You're giving these up and comers, these kids, an opportunity to get out there and learn something and maybe make something of themselves later on. And you guys are just not focusing on music. You guys are focusing on writing. You guys are focusing on media, on sound. You're essentially opening like a hip hop school, basically. If you really want to think about it, you're teaching kids who have never been taught this stuff. They have the passion for it, but they don't have the education on it.
Exactly. Yep. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Ideally, we'd have our first one in August, so definitely look out for that. Um, you're even going to be able to learn some engineering because our engineer Wade is going to also be giving a class there and just showing you how he mixes vocals and his whole process. So it's going to be super enlightening from the ground up. We're going to do some freestyle in there. We're going to show people kind of our creative process and how we get into it. And, we're also going to have some camera set up, and show people a little of that side. So, we're giving it our all. We want to build this thing as a city. We want people to be a part of this culture. We're very family forward, and, the family starts here. So.
That's awesome, man. Wow. I'm speechless right now. That's insane to me, man. Like, I've never heard of such a thing before because it wasn't like that back in the day, man. It was everybody out for themselves, everybody, make it, or you don't make it. It's just how it was. But this is great to hear, man. You guys have a plan in place that I think is going to be very successful going down, going into the future. I think you guys are going to be, by the time it's all said and done, you guys are going to have your own media conglomerate by the time it's done. And that's something that I look forward to seeing firsthand. you and I, we're gonna have to do some business too, man. I might have to have you guys write me a theme song for my, for my podcast now, for my intro, man, because I see you guys doing big things. So
Hey,
I might have to have you part of it.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
where can people reach the group, be R Squared, but where can people reach you folks individually as well? So starting with you, Robert Bob, where can people reach you at?
I'm at Robish Bob on pretty much every platform. That's ROBISHBOB. But you can find all of our work on our r2cle.com and at r2cle on most media.
So you're on YouTube as well?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yep.
How about you, Kizzy? Where can everybody find you?
At Kizzy Music for on Instagram, and then everything else, like Robert Bob said, www.r2cle.com. We're on all major platforms, and we're accessible. You can always drop us a line on the website or send us a DM through our individual inboxes.
So like me being out of state, so I live in South Carolina, as a lot of people know. So if I find artists out here, even though they're in a different state, would they still be able to collab with you folks being out where you are now in Cleveland?
Absolutely.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so that's good to know, because there's, sometimes you have artists that don't have a heading, you know what I mean? They just don't know where to go and what to do to try to get seen or heard. And you guys are open to helping folks from different states as well, which I think is going to open a lot of things up for you guys at the end of the day. I would have loved to meet your other partner, man. Too bad you couldn't get on, but hopefully when I head back out to Cleveland to visit, we can sit down and we can all, have a conversation again live and in person. And, besides this, you guys can record it on your equipment there so it can get posted. As far as shows, what upcoming shows you guys have coming up for you guys in the next couple months? And this is not rapping, this is not just performing, this is shows that you guys either are going to film or shows that you're going to perform at.
I believe 24th, correct? Kizzy, correct me if I'm wrong. We have a show out in Euclid. And we'll be posting that on our page. So again, just follow us for details there. And then we have a show on the 19th, Kizzy, of August?
August 19th, yep.
Yeah, at the Winchester. That's going to be great. Dibs on Mars is going to be there. We're going to be there. So we're going to have a lot of fun. And then there's an international airport coming up August 6th. And they're going to feature some great talent. Honesty Blade, of course, he's going to be there. We're going to be there doing media coverage, and we're really excited about it. So
that's awesome, guys. You man, I get excited, man. I'm excited for you guys. This is it's like opening a whole new world up to people, man. You don't see this. It's amazing, and I think it's progress, man. It's progress in the game. It really is. You guys are doing unprecedented things for people that hasn't been done before. You're opening studios up for people to learn, and it's something that I wish that would have been around when I was younger. You know what I mean? But I'm glad to see it now. I'm glad it's coming to fruition now for you guys, and I see the hard work you guys are putting in. It took me a while to get you on the show, Kizzy. You know what I mean? It's like, trying to pull teeth, trying to reach out to you, trying to get you. But I get it now. I understand. You're constantly busy. You're constantly on the clock, man. So, I appreciate you and Robish coming out and coming on the show, man, taking the time to sit down and have a good conversation with me. You guys are welcome back on the show anytime, man. I'm being serious. If you guys want to come on and promote something with me, come on and promote it. You guys have any artists that you want to, bring onto the show to, get seen and heard, by all means, drop me a line, and, I'll be more than willing to sit down with them, have a conversation with them as well, so they can introduce themselves to the world and get seen, because you guys are going to do that as well. But, there's 6 billion people on the planet. There's different voices for different people. So your crowd may not be my crowd, and vice versa. So the more media coverage that, that person can get, the more media coverage you guys can get, I think is going to go a long way in the process of you guys continue to grow as a company and as artists, because you're not just one or the other, you're both, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. We look forward to doing, you'll definitely be hearing from us, man. We'll stay in contact.
So, gentlemen, I appreciate you coming on the show. Kizzy, once again, thanks for let me chase you down and get you on the show finally. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Robert Bob. Look, man, you're very well versed. You're an eloquent speaker. You know what I mean? So it's good, man. We just got to keep grinding down together, man. You know, I love to see Black and Brown collab. I love to see, you know, us rise as a people. I don't think we do that enough. You know, it gotten to the point where we rather just take instead of collabing together. And I think tides are changing a little bit when it comes to that. Before it was just step on somebody's toes to get where they need to go to, and now, you know, it's the conversation is starting to turn a little bit. And I appreciate that from you, gentlemen. You guys are leading the charge on that, and I think a lot of people is going to open the eyes for a lot of people to see what you're doing. Hopefully, it leads to a whole new generation of artists that are just not thinking about one section of the industry. You know what I mean? Hopefully, it leads to a whole section where these kids are learning how, you know, how to produce, how to, you know, be behind the mic, not just in front of the mic. And it's going to be a culture change, man. And it's just like you said, it's a renaissance that you guys are trying to provide future generations. And I think you guys are on your way.
Yeah, appreciate that, man.
Thank you.
So, gentlemen, it was a pleasure having you on. Again, my name is Francisco. This is the Frankly Francisco podcast. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on. It has been an absolute pleasure. You folks are welcome to come on the show anytime. I will see you guys next time.
All right.
Sir.